Chosen ones, I have interesting news for you. They thought they could play with fire and not get burned. They thought they could hit you and pass you by, that you were an ordinary face, a pawn. But they failed to see the divine fire in which you walk. You are the anointed ones, the ones chosen by the divine order, not just a shadow cast by chance. They were so blinded by their arrogance that they could not realize that you were not normal, that they could never crush you. God's warning was always clear: do not touch my anointed. But they, like fools mocking the storm, mistook the silence of divine intervention for weakness and kept provoking you. When they tried to burn you to ashes, they did not even realize that they were striking a match in a dry forest. The fire soon showed them that they were no match for you, and now they themselves are burning in the midst of the fire they thought they had lit. The most striking thing about this confrontation is that the demon, who believed that the darkness would destroy you, fell in love with you at the very end of this process. Before we go any further, please help this message reach more people by clicking the like button below this video. Don't forget to subscribe, because it is your duty to help spread this message far and wide. For every chosen one who continues to question their own worth and power, what you are about to hear is much more than a message. It is a wake-up call. Together, let us raise the flame. No matter how powerful they believed they were, they could not withstand the magnitude of your divine protection. The more arrogant they became, the more they found an invincible light, and in the end, they were overcome by an admiration they could not deny. Remember, every attack is just another proof of heaven's superior power. You have emerged victorious from the fire, proving once again that you have been chosen. As the flames raged, they realized too late that they had taken on more than they could handle. They had started a fire that could not be extinguished. They saw your silence as a sign of surrender and became infuriated. They did not realize that your silence was a tactic, the silent reassurance of a lion ready to strike. You were observing, preparing, not running away. They believed they had offended you, mocked your patience, and laughed when you did not fight back. But patience is a strength they will never understand, not a sign of weakness. The gradual accumulation of strength is patience. The stretching of the bowstring before release, the beautiful pause before the storm. The reckoning has now begun. Every sneer, betrayal, and deliberate effort to weaken you was not just a personal attack. The conflict was spiritual. By focusing on you, they dared to confront forces far beyond their comprehension. Imagine a moth flying towards the flame with a sense of pride, thinking it is just a glimmer of light, only to be swallowed up by it. That is exactly what they did. Believing that they have extinguished your light, they have now fanned a fire that consumes their delusion of power. Listen to me, chosen ones. Their attacks have strengthened you, not weakened you. Every stone they hurled added to the building blocks of your ascension. The fire that is now blazing in your soul was fanned by every hurtful sentence. Even if they were laughing at the time, they failed to perceive the eternal forces working in your favor. You are a manifestation of divine justice. You are not like other people. They are now facing the repercussions of their ignorance, which like unstoppable waves is overturning invisible worlds. What they find most frightening and intolerable is the fact that they cannot stop you. A powerful presence to mobilize the energy of your choice, the first spark of a profound revolution. Write 77 in the comments section. Now your light is clearer, brighter, and more distinct than ever. They thought they had extinguished your light, but they only intensified it. Now they stand in the wreckage of their own making, frightened and confused, unable to grasp the power they tried to suppress. This is not a coincidence. The moment they misjudged you, they were doomed. They questioned the God who went before you and fought battles you could not see, making you suffer. It was not your purpose to be a victim in their life. You were sent to serve as a living reminder of their helplessness. They are drowning in the storm because they mocked him. The question is not if they will collapse, but when. They tried fire in the hope of escaping unscathed, but the flames they started are now eating them from the inside out. They underestimated you because they misjudged the one who protected you. Now they are discovering the hard way that there is a price for mocking the chosen ones. Their arrogance could not save them. Their deception, cunning, and cruelty are coming back to haunt them. Even if they believed they were the hunted, they are now the hunted. While they are floundering in confusion, you are standing up. Your fortitude reminds them that the divine never abandons its owners. Every tear, every insult, every betrayal, remember, the chosen ones were not in vain. They served as catalysts for your metamorphosis. You are now invincible, living proof that no weapon designed to harm you will succeed. Let them see their plans crumble as your light shines. They believed they were powerful, but now they realize that true power belongs only to those who are chosen, protected, and unstoppable. After dancing with fire, it is time for them to burn. Second, when pride becomes a trap, collapse is inevitable. When you fall, the earth looks harder because you have built yourself on lies. They felt untouchable and strutted proudly through life. They believed they could deceive, control, and manipulate you, and they left you in ruins while they managed to escape unharmed. However, arrogance has a way of keeping individuals ignorant of the truth. Not only did they see your silence as weakness, but they also saw their own illusions as strength. They were playing with so much more than anyone else, but their egos were too blinded to see it. They were up against a chosen one, protected by God and not forced to fight conflicts alone. Pride is more of a weight than a shield, making it a deadly armor. They believed that their pride protected them from backlash, so they wore it like a shield. However, it is precisely this pride that leads them to destruction. Their arrogance became a noose that tightened with every careless move and every plan they believed would tear you apart. They thought they were smart enough to outsmart justice, but you cannot outsmart divine justice. They mocked the invisible forces that control our universe and ridiculed the principles of balance. Write the number 33 in the comments to let the cosmos know you are ready. They acted as if they could destroy what God had sown. However, their arrogance was as much an insult to the one who chose you as it was to you. When they attacked you, they were not just going too far. They were fighting against something much bigger than themselves. They failed to remember a timeless truth. You cannot defeat God. Though they believed they could dance in the darkness forever, the light has now caught up with them. Their carefully constructed illusions began to show cracks. Their masks began to loosen, and their lies began to collapse. Even if they believed they had authority, they never realized that they were never in charge. They are sinking, frantically scrambling for an unattainable escape, having built their pride on a foundation of quicksand. Before collapsing, arrogance has a way of speaking the loudest. They strut, confident that they have won. They have convinced themselves that they have beaten you, broken you, and silenced you. But they are no longer in control of the chaos they caused and the fire they started. Fueled by the same energy they sent to kill you, this fire is now raging. Every conspiracy, every hateful word, every betrayal, all betrayed them. God, almighty and merciless, saw it all. Every strategy they discussed in secret, every weapon they hid behind a smirk, and every deliberate act intended to harm you. Divine justice needs no human hand, so there was no need for you to fight back. While they were busy plotting your death, the cosmos was already working in your favor. Their house of cards suddenly collapses under its own weight, and they frantically try to understand their lies. They didn't know what forces they were up against, but they believed they could play God in your life. They underestimated not you, but the God who protects you. That was their biggest mistake. They did not realize that every stone they threw at you was piled up into the foundation of the castle on which you are now standing. Their arrogance only drew attention to the divine protection surrounding you, the chosen ones. They believed that their actions would weaken you, but instead they demonstrated the power of your call. They ran after you, but now they are discovering the hard way that pride leads to your downfall rather than your victory. Imagine a predator running toward its victim, so sure of its attack that it cannot see the trap in front of it. That is exactly what they did. They were so consumed by their arrogance that they failed to see that they were heading straight for disaster. Their pride, which once made them feel invincible, now suffocates them as reality hits them hard in the face. They mocked your patience because they did not understand that it is the best weapon. It is a peaceful assurance that you are not fighting. It is the silence before the storm breaks in full fury. They believed you didn't have the strength to react, but they failed to realize that there was no need. Any retaliation you might have pursued would have been dwarfed by the power of divine justice. Now they are trapped in the fire of their own making, sitting on the rubble of their own arrogance. They are discovering that pride is not a flaw, but a fatal weakness. The more they have fallen, the more they have tried to bring you down. Remember, chosen ones, their pride has always been about them, not you. It has kept them ignorant of the truth, of your power, and of the divine barrier that keeps you safe. Today they are paying the price for this because they miscalculated everything. The war has already been won, so there is no need for you to do anything. Thirdly, you would not have been defeated by the fire that was supposed to kill you. The path ahead of you is lit by the same flame they started to kill you. They believed they could destroy you. Their intention from the beginning was to shatter your spirit, your commitment, and leave you wondering about the essence of your identity. They wanted to turn you into rubble because they believed it would be easy to forget and dispose of you. But here is the unexpected turn of events. The fire they started did not destroy you. You were shaped by it. You have become stronger, wiser, and untouchable as a result of what was intended to devour you. Their lies were fuel, their betrayal was heat, and their cruelty was fire. However, instead of breaking under the strain, you changed like steel in the hands of a master blacksmith. With every blow, you became harder and harder to shatter. The procedure involved every insult and every effort to ruin your life. They believed they were destroying you, but in reality they were only sharpening you. Isn't that almost poetic? Instead of extinguishing your light, they only served to fan the flames of your power. They did not realize that what they were doing was making you invincible. A chosen person rises like refined gold in the fire. They do not burn. You emerged stronger, wiser, and more resilient. In the process, the doubts, worries, and insecurities that previously held you back were burned away. They took away everything that no longer benefited you, that no longer weakened you. The irony is almost unbearable. The more they suppressed, the stronger you became. The more they planned, the more they accelerated you towards your destiny. Now imagine their surprise when they see that the fire they intended to destroy you with has turned into the light that guides you. All they did was lay the groundwork for your greatest metamorphosis. Even though they believed they were writing the final chapter of your fairy tale, they believed they were in control and could direct your life. However, they were never in control. They failed to realize that you are more than a human being. You have been chosen. Every attack on you was also an attack on the divine intention that pervades your entire being. And once you are chosen, the light that burns within you cannot be extinguished by any evil, betrayal, or darkness. Look at them now, bewildered, dumb, helpless. They see a stronger, more intelligent, and untouchable version of you that they never imagined possible. You have been changed by the fire they have lit. You have not been broken. As a result, you have become unstoppable, and now they have to see the victory they worked so hard to prevent from happening. Not only have you not only lived, but you have evolved, and it bothers them to see you. Everything you do constantly reminds you of their failure and the power they can never have. Not only have they despised you, but they have also despised God who is with you. They did not realize that their intrigue, betrayal, and hatred are tools in the hands of a greater power to transform you into the person you were meant to be. The chosen ones realized that the fire was only the beginning, not the end. It showed your strength, not your weakness. You became the epitome of perseverance, a living reminder that no power on earth can bring down someone who is consciously protected, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Their efforts to destroy you were never about you. Rather, they were motivated by their own fears, anxieties, and inability to tolerate someone who was supposed to be great. Once they saw your light, they believed they could extinguish it. But a light like yours expands instead of going out. Now they cannot turn back from the light of your perseverance. They started the fire, but things did not go the way they wanted. This is a very clear lesson. Everything that should not have been there was burnt by the flames, not you. They liberated, empowered, and purified you. You are standing here now, unshakable and invincible, a living example that no weapon created against you can succeed. So let them observe. Let them wallow in the shadow of their own failure when they fail to prevent the rise of someone they believe they have destroyed. What they intended to harm you has become your greatest triumph. They lit a fire not to devour you, but to awaken you, and now you are moving forward stronger and brighter than before. You are proof that a fire lit consciously can never be extinguished by darkness. You have been shaped by the fire they lit. They will now always regret the day they dared to oppose one chosen by God. They created their own judgment by what they did. Every action done in secret will eventually come to light, and the truth demands an audience, not supplication. They believed that what they did would eventually disappear, and they felt wise. Their treachery was drowned out by the noise of the world, and their evil was hidden in secret. They convinced themselves that what they did to you will never happen. However, let me tell you one thing. They were completely wrong. All their words, plans, and deliberate acts of harm have not only been observed, they have been documented. The spiritual world does not ignore this, especially when the victim is someone with a divine mission. They will never grasp the fact that you are not walking alone. A shield they cannot see, and a justice they can never escape is part of your calling. In fact, what people saw as a personal attack or a personal grudge was a clear challenge to God's purpose for your life. They came not just for you, but to fulfill the reason for which you were created. They also rejected the fact that you cannot fight against God and hope to be victorious. Their arrogance misled them. Every lie, betrayal, and hurtful words spoken behind your back had an impact that extended far beyond the world they were familiar with. In addition to hurting you, they upset spiritual balances they never believed in. The evidence of their brutality is now the strongest testimony against them, and everything they did in secret has come to light. Isn't this almost poetic justice? Piece by piece, they have built their own case against themselves. Every time they tried to hurt you, they believed they were untouchable, that they were so cunning that they would not resonate. But they were only tightening the noose around their own necks. Now that what they sowed in secret has come to light, everyone can see how bitter the consequences of their actions have been. The spiritual world is right. Nothing has gone unnoticed, not a word, thought, or action. Every secret plan they implemented, every smile they hid under false good intentions, and every trap they devised was being recorded by forces far greater than you or them. What they believed they were hiding came to light. Their actions have tipped the scales of justice against them, and the scales are constantly shifting. They believe they could take advantage of the system, but divine justice is not affected. The divine hand that guides your actions, the calling that sets you apart, and the purpose that makes you a force they cannot comprehend, have been attacked. The chosen ones. Moreover, they were doomed to lose this struggle from the very beginning. Beyond any defense or denial, their actions provided the proof of their guilt that sealed their fate. Justice for the chosen is always guaranteed, even if it is not always swift. They are now cursed for what they did to you. They believed their secrets would keep them safe, but those same secrets became the center of attention and exposed everything. Their toughness not only failed, it backfired. There is no escaping the fact that the judgment they believed they could avoid is now coming their way. When you wound the chosen one, you petrify your own judgment. They giggled at this, not realizing that the light was revealing their shadows. The denser the shadows, the brighter the light. And some people want to extinguish the light instead of facing their own darkness. Their laughter was a smokescreen, a last-ditch effort to hide what your light saw in them, and it was never really about you. They could not replicate or comprehend the peaceful, serene power you carry or the goodness you bestow. And instead of examining themselves or facing the emptiness within, they decided to mock themselves. Mockery served as a shield, a cover for their resentment, jealousy, and fear. People attack what they fear and are terrified of what they cannot explain. Your brilliance served as a mirror that revealed their shadows, their repressed fears, and the flaws they chose to ignore. Every bad joke, condescending remark, and ridicule acted as a buffer against the unease your presence created in them. It was their own reflection that threatened them, not you. Your strength reminded them of their fragility. Your faith reminded them of their doubts. And your grace reminded them of all that they so desperately desired but felt they lacked. Their taunts were not harmless. They rebelled against you, not only against yourself, but against the sacred energy within you with every word they spoke. Not only were they mocking you, they were denying the source of your brilliance. They avoided reality itself by mocking what they did not understand. But there is always a price for disobedience to truth. When you mock the light, you encourage the darkness to swallow you up. What they fail to understand is that their mockery builds you up instead of humbling you. Your anger was fueled by every taunt and every instance of mockery. You were rising while they believed they were bringing you down. Their attacks honed your mission, strengthened your faith, and increased your fortitude. Instead of extinguishing your light, they increased it. Now there is no denying the irony. They turned against you, hoping to silence you. But here you are, brighter than before. They mocked unwavering strength, divine protection and grace they could never fully understand, not fragility. As they see your ascension, they can no longer deny the reality from which they fled. They no longer laugh as much as they used to. Instead, they are silent, restless, and even remorseful. Now the light they tried to extinguish serves as proof of everything they lacked: courage, direction, and a sense of belonging to something greater. The faults in their own foundations have been exposed by their efforts to tear you to shreds. Remember, chosen ones, their mockery was never directed at you. They were rebelling against the truth that your light carries. Now they must face the indisputable fact that their laughter only led to their own reckoning and that the light they mocked was never within their grasp. Your silence was their downfall, but they mistook it for submission. Silence is the stillness before the roar that shatters illusions, not a lack of power. They saw your silence as a sign of success. They saw your restraint as a sign of failure, your surrender and lack of counterattack. In their arrogance, they thought they were tearing you to pieces. They failed to see that your silence was not a white flag, but a plan far beyond their understanding. They celebrated what they believed to be their victory, but they failed to see the storm raging just beyond the silence. Your silence, chosen ones, was not meaningless. Rather, it was pure power. They failed to realize that not all conflicts need verbal or physical combat. You realize that silence, when used wisely, has much more weight than sound. While others plotted and schemed, you chose wisdom over impulse, patience over chaos. You resigned not because you were weak, but because you understood that divine justice works in its own time. He never misses his target, but he is never in a hurry. All the hurtful things they said, the lies they told, and the traps they set only helped feed the flames they did not realize were burning towards them. They took great pride in their arrogance and believed they had won, but they were only making things worse. Your silence signaled the beginning of a reckoning, not the end. If you liked this inspiring adventure and want to see more videos that challenge convention and explore the exceptional, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share with your friends, and leave a comment below. Please share your thoughts with us. The story doesn't end here. Stay tuned for more. Let's keep pushing the boundaries together.